Good day everyone. This is William Warren James, BSN major in English 1A student. For this video, we're going to tackle and share my insights or answers about the given questions by Sir Bon. It is all about Bangladesh English. So there are 4 questions that was given, and unfortunately, I didn't include my answers in the PPT or PowerPoint presentation. Instead, I put it here in my paper. So let's begin. So first question: how English arrived in Bangladesh, and discussed based on the 3 phases presented in the material. So, the origin of English in the Indian subcontinent is linked to British colonial rule during 1757 to 1947. The first encounters between the Indians and the British date from the 1630s, when English trading factories were set up in Bengal. Initially, English was a language of trade between English factors and local go-betweens with the commercial or institutional opportunities for its learning. And the scope of learning English was widened in the next century. With the establishment of English schools, initially for European children and later for locals, with the aim of spreading Western knowledge, English, and English literature. And during the Pakistan era, 1947 to 1971, constructing a new national language or what they say, Urdu, to unite linguistically, culturally, and geographically divided East and West. Pakistan called for significant political investment. The question of English apparently remained in the background to this complex political process. Nevertheless, English gained a new status in the Federation of Pakistan, serving as a neutral protocol for communication between the 2 wings of Pakistan. In the second decade of 21st century, English finds itself in a complex linguistic ecology and socio-political imaginary in Bangladesh. As elsewhere in the world, English is an object of social desire because of a strong popular faith in what the language can offer. However, Bangla is dominant in many areas of society. While the public sector may dispense with English, the booming private sector is increasingly relying on the global language. For instance, private in a neoliberal environment, the use of technology has increased significantly in various domains, paving the way for more English of the total population. So the next question, which is the second question, is what is the status of English in terms of education and language policies in Bangladesh? So ascertaining the current status of English in Bangladesh, it is not a simple task. This is mainly due to the absence of what is called status planning for English. There is no policy articulation about English that can be applied to the whole society. Although language questions have specially significance in the social, cultural, and political life of the nation. Language does not seem to have received commensurate policy investment. For example, the National Education Policy includes chapters in all conceivable forms of education, including adults and non-formal education, women's education, religious and moral education, physical education, and legal education, but no chapter is dedicated to languages or language education. The third question is, describe the functions of English in terms of education, employment, media and entertainment, politics, NGOs, creative writing, electronic communication. First, let's go to education. Education is a key domain where English has overarching presence, both as a language for learning and a language in which students are expected to develop functional proficiency. Next, let's proceed to employment. The domain of employment does not allow for easy or reliable assessment of the rule of English. While jobs in certain sectors may require high levels of English proficiency and other communication skills, Bangla may suffice in many others. Next one is media and entertainment. So, the role of English in media entertainment is modest, as this sector uses mainly Bangla to cater to its domestic audience as well as the Bangladeshi diaspora around the globe. Hindi also has a significant role in entertainment, as Hindi music is quite common in public places. Next is politics. So, politics, Bangla is the language of politics and political expression in Bangladesh. Using a language other than Bangla in this field can be considered politically incorrect with serious repercussions. Next is the NGOs or non-government organizations. English probably has the strongest presence in non-government organizations or NGOs. The NGO Affairs Bureau, the government department for overseeing NGO operations in Bangladesh. These are funded both locally and from overseas. Major NGOs operating in Bangladesh include the Bangladesh Rural Advancement Committee or BRAC, the largest NGO in the world. Next is creative writing. Although creative writing in English is the region dates back to the early 19th century, Bangladeshi writing in English or BWE has yet to receive notable recognition. And the last one is electronic communication. Email communication in Bangladesh is characterized by the use of English. However, in the public sector, email is not the official form of communication, even though it probably constitutes the dominant form of communication in the private sector based on the extent, nature, type, and purpose of communication in the private sector. So, the last question is, what is code mixing, code switching, and technology mediated innovations in Bangladesh? So, communication technology also facilitate linguistic innovation other than linguistic transmission. For example, FNF, family and friend, is a familiar word in the mobile phone culture in Bangladesh. So it refers to a group of people among whom the telephone companies offer cheaper call rates A more popular innovation in this regard is FlexiLoad. And code mixing and linguistic transgressions are also found in the urban linguistic landscape, particularly in signs and billboards. A few examples noted in Dhaka include Lam Yi furniture written in English in which the first two words are two letters from the Arabic alphabet. So, code mixing is most obvious in the nomenclature of major political parties in Bangladesh. In addition to innovation of the social-linguistic category exemplified above, innovation of the linguistic type can also be located in various sources. So that's all for today, and thank you, and God bless.